Welcome back to the 3F Life, Faith, Family, and Fitness. I want to get into how to get over a breakup in this video. One quote I want to start off with is, it's something I found online. I couldn't even figure out who was actually the creator of this quote, but it's, "Don't be afraid to start over. It's a chance to build something better this time." And to kind of give you a little bit of my background, I've really only been through like one, I guess, major breakup in my life. I met my ex when I was 18, and we were together for 9 years. This basically takes us to last year, and so since then I've just been single, building myself up and everything like that. And so that breakup was actually a divorce. We were married for 7 years, and that was a crushing time for me. For a period of time, it was very difficult. And so in this video, I want to go through some of the things that I was able to use and how I was able to kind of overcome it and come out as a better man in the end. And I think that's, we get really caught up in emotions, and a lot of men can kind of dwell on a breakup. A breakup can be difficult for you, even if you are the person that called it quits or whatever, or if you were the one that was dumped per se, then it can be difficult too. But I'm gonna go into this. Number one, turn to God above all else. I think building a relationship with Christ is gonna ease any kind of pain that you can go through in your life, whether it be a breakup, a loss of a loved one, because knowing Christ's love is going to help you heal. Having the love of God is going to heal all, in my opinion. And it'll also help you understand love and loving again. And a lot of times you go through a relationship and you think you're just madly in love with each other, and once you get to the end of it, it's like, maybe this wasn't Christ. This wasn't love like Christ. So it helps you kind of reevaluate things, the closer you get to God, and helps you heal and everything. And of course, I'm a believer that God can help you heal depression, anxiety, and everything else that might come as a result of a breakup. And so number two, I think it's very crucial that you do some self-reflection, and you analyze your life. And I sometimes I feel like maybe I overanalyze things, but you do reflection on the who you were in the relationship, and where did I go wrong? What was I doing that caused the separation? How could I have been a better man? How could I been a better husband or better boyfriend in the situation? And you can kind of build on things that you should work on before you get into your next relationship from this point. So number three, I think it's very important that you just start building yourself up. Before you get into another relationship with another woman, it's very important that you raise the quality man that you are, the relationship that you have with God. I think it's important to do some of these things to better yourself, to read. I'm not talking Harry Potter or any kind of fiction. I'm talking about books that just build you up as a man, self-improvement, essentially. I think it's important that you focus on your exercise, that you stay in the gym, you stay disciplined, your diet, and like I said, you pursue God. And doing these things, whether you're going through a breakup or even in a relationship, these things are going to benefit your life tenfold. So, building yourself up, having self-discipline, these are things that are just going to overall make you a better man, being closer to God and everything. And then number four, maybe some people might disagree with me on this one, but I would say never under any circumstance get back with your ex. This is, I get people are going to make their arguments and stuff, and this is, if you were the one that caused the separation, like you split up with her for whatever your reasons are, then this might apply a little bit different. But if your woman leaves you, don't ever take her back. If once it's done, and don't go back, because an analogy one of my close friends used was, when basically this girl leaves you, if you the analogy is like, if you're at a poker table, for example, she put all her chips into the table and bet against a life with you, whether that's her betting that she could find a better guy, or if she did find another guy, that she's betting that relationship is going to work out better than her relationship with you, or that she's better off finding someone new. So why would you ever take that person back? Why would you? They showed their true colors. The moment that things get bad, and you go through some roadblocks, she's gonna leave you again. So, and the other thing to this, like, what tends to happen with men is, like, maybe you talk to your ex and you just start thinking of, like, the good things, like, oh man, we had all these good moments together, and you dwell on that, and then it's, it kind of like feeds into this, like, oh, maybe we should get back together. Don't think about the good, because the reason that you guys split was because of the bad. So I wouldn't say dwell on the bad, but forget about the good. Don't dwell on that either. Don't think about the good, because at the end of the day, this is over. The relationship's ended, and it is what it is, and it's time to move on, and it's time to improve ourselves as men. So never under any circumstances take her back. And then number 5 is, be sad, but don't sulk for a long time. Obviously, if you spent 9 years with someone, if you spent a chunk of your life being in a relationship with someone, you loved them, like I said, you did have good times together, it's okay to be sad in the moment. It's okay to go through, human emotions, but don't sulk on it for a long time. You see a lot of people that they're just heartbroken and they can't get over it, and they kind of shell up, and they become those guys that are just like, they don't want to go out, they don't want to do things, they just want to sit, be reserved, and just kind of, it kind of puts you into a spiral of depression. And for me, I'm not saying everybody's going to respond like this. I went through a couple days where I was just really sad, and then it was like, I got to be a better man. I got to be better for my kids especially. And so I just went into grind mode, started working on myself, and I think that's the way to do it. So it's okay to be sad in the moment, but don't sulk on it. Don't once you get through a period of time, and if you're still sad, you need to get around your friends and get around people that are going to pull you out of those emotions. So, and then number 6, don't ever stop working on yourself. There's never going to be a point where you shouldn't be trying to improve yourself, trying to learn more things. We as men, and I think might apply to women as well, you get into a relationship and you kind of just kick your feet up, and you get kind of used to, like, the relationship feeling. You start getting into more of these lazy habits, watching Netflix, skipping the gym, eating bad food, and we kind of throw in the towel in the self-improvement space, and we stop working on ourselves, because it's like a lot of men like want to work on themselves so they can attract the woman, and then you attract the women, and then you give up you stop doing all the things that made that woman fall for you and fall in love with you, and then you'll hit a certain point in your relationship where that woman is just like, this isn't the same man that I fell in love with. So you never compromise that. If you're talking to a girl and you live a disciplined life, you're going to bed at a certain time, you're waking up at a certain time, you're going to the gym consistently, don't sacrifice doing those things so that you can pursue a woman. So I think that's very important, that you never stop working. You don't make sacrifices for your you stay disciplined in everything that you do. Number 7, I think this is important, that once you go out of a separation, you find out what you want in a future relationship. What kind of woman are you looking for? And instead of being the guy that's like, let me pursue a bunch of women, like do this sleeping around thing and whatnot. Just only date women that kind of fit what your ideal mold is. If you're a Christian, why would you waste your time dating a woman that doesn't share beliefs with you? So I think for me, like, if I'm gonna date a woman, I'm gonna figure that out like right away before I even date her, because I'm not gonna waste my time with a woman that you get in a relationship with a woman that doesn't share your belief system. You're gonna start that relationship off without a strong foundation, and then in the end it's gonna blow up in your face, and there's no way that relationship can work because you guys don't share crucial value beliefs, and especially when it comes to religion. So I think it's important that you figure out what you are wanting in a relationship and the type of woman that you want before you start dating. And so kind of to piggyback off of this, number 8 is don't be quick to rebound or jump into another relationship. We go through the pain, and then as a man, you're like, especially if she starts dating again, you want to be quick to get into a relationship, quick to find another, like a replacement, or quick to sleep with other women. And these aren't good habits to be in, because you're masking the pain that you're in. You're putting quick fixes on the pain, and you're jumping into a relationship if you do that, and you're still broken, and you might have all these bad thoughts on women, and now you're dating another woman, and you're projecting like what you just went through, because this is also fresh. So take time to work on yourself, and sure you can date women once you kind of figure out what kind of women you're looking for, but don't be so quick to jump into another relationship. And then number 9, don't compare women. Obviously, like, there's certain things that like a lot of women share in terms of qualities and how women are, but when it comes to like how a girl, like how a woman is and how your ex is, don't compare situations. If you lost trust with your ex, if she cheated or something, don't assume that this new girl is going to do those things. You can't compare the situations, and you gotta look at every woman as a different woman, and they all have their own life experiences. They've lived life differently, and so I wouldn't compare. That's going to put you in a position to where you're almost setting yourself up for failure to go through those same things once again. And then number 10, eliminate hatred. So if you went through a messy breakup, there was cheating, or anything that would cause you to have a grudge or have hatred towards your ex, I think it's important to eliminate this hatred and to forgive them, and not for them, but for you, and because that's what God wants you to do. You want to forgive them and then be able to move on. And if you harbor this hatred for this person, this is not going to make anything better in your life. You're going to continue to dwell on it. You're going to dwell on the pain, and I'm not saying like forget the things that happened to you in your life, but if you hold this hatred, it's just going to cause you to be a sour person. And then, like the last point, then when you get into talking to new women, you're gonna have this hatred for women, essentially, because you got done dirty and you went through a messy breakup. So don't have hatred when you begin dating more women. And then number 11, build a strong group of friends. So with my experience, one of the things that helped me overcome this right away was just being around good quality friends that could give me good advice and that I could learn from. And if you have that good group of friends around you, they're gonna be trying to pull you out. If you're like sulking and sad and like, I want to sit at home and watch movies or whatever, they're gonna be like, come on, bro, let's go out. Let's go grab a drink. Let's go watch the game. They're gonna try to pull you from that, and they're gonna help you. And then one thing that like I went through in my past relationship, and I think a lot of other men go through this, is they get in a relationship and then they deviate from you might have really good friends, and then you stop talking to your friends. You stop learning from your friends, and it just becomes like you and your girl, and like ideally, like, yes, she is your best friend or one of your closest friends, but you don't want that to be you don't want to like completely lose the social life and lose friendships over this. And with my ex in the relationship, we'd go through times where it would be like a friend would invite me out to do something, and I'd tell her, she'd be like, yeah, you can go ahead. And it's like, you could tell, like, when you ask a woman a question like that, like, she's saying yes, but I'm not getting the yes vibes from her. But, like, so what? Don't sacrifice other relationships just for this new relationship. Continue to hang out with your friends, especially if they're good ones, and continue to learn from your friends, and have those strong friendships. Now, if you have a friend that's like causing you to sin and, you know, a bad influence on your life, that's not what I'm talking about. So don't obviously don't do that. You know, you can still be friends with them, you can still show them God's love, but you have to keep them at a distance. You don't want them to be in your inner circle. And then number 12, stay off of social media. So you go through a breakup, and a lot of guys will continue to follow their ex. They'll continue to look at her stories, and, you know, it'll cause more pain. And like, what is she doing? And, you know, like, you don't want to see any of her content, anything that she's posting. Don't do this. And then the other thing too is, like, you go through this, and then, like, social media is just, we're so wrapped up in this demonic society that you're gonna start coming across other women and things like that you shouldn't be doing. So just flat out stay off of social media. Like, if you're posting, if you're somebody who's trying to build like a platform or something, like, you go open the app, post, close the app, keep it like that. Or like, in my schedule, I'll set like a time, like I'll go on Instagram, leave comments, you know, message people back and stuff during this time of the day. So you can do stuff like that. But if you're going to be continuing to, like, look up your ex's profile and stuff like that, completely stay off of it. And then number 13, do not under any circumstances start watching porn. Obviously, you know what I'm talking about. This is YouTube, so I can't say the real word, but you don't want to get into this habit, this degenerative habit that a lot of men fall under. You want to stay away from this. This completely destroys who you are as a man. It lowers your testosterone. It kills your relationships with women. You start to look at them like in an animalistic way, like they're pieces of meat, essentially. And it's just, there's nothing good that comes from doing this. So if you're in a relationship, especially don't do this. But if you're not in a relationship, if you just went through a breakup, you know, a lot of times, like, let's say you were married and you were used to, you know, doing things every day, and then you go through it and you're like, oh, you have all this energy pent up and everything. Don't go to that to fix this, because it's not going to fix it. It's going to sink who you are as a man, and it's not going to be any good for you. And then number 14, serve others. By doing things that create gratitude and helping others, this is going to make you feel just so good. By giving to the homeless, or, you know, helping somebody fix their car, you know, this is just going to, it's going to make you feel so good about yourself. And doing these things after a hard time in your life, you're going to be giving back and creating positivity, and it's going to come back into your life. You know, things will start going better for you. You're becoming a better man. So serving others, doing things that create gratitude, I think, are very important. And then number 15 is create serotonin. So serotonin is essentially like it's what causes you to be happy. It's a chemical that our bodies produce, and it makes us happy. And obviously there's bad versions of serotonin, like drinking or the corn. You know, these are quick bumps of serotonin, and that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to do things that cause us to be happy. If you're passionate about something, go and do it. You know, if you want to go watch the game with your friends, go do it. If you want to golf, go do it. Get in the gym. Lifting weights is a great boost of serotonin. Go enjoy your life. Have fun. Don't sit at home sulking and being sad and expecting a pity party. We're men. People don't care. Like, a quote that someone who's close to me in one of my Bible studies. He says the only person who cares is your mom, and it's genuine. Like, even like your friends, like after a certain point, like they care about you, but your problems, you being sad, eventually they're just gonna be like, come on, bro, like this is just, you're over the top with this. Like, you need to move on and enjoy your life and build something for yourself. So don't continue to sulk and be sad. And I get it. This time that you're going through, it's not easy. It's difficult. It's sad. And but the way that we go through hard times and the way we respond to these are like make or break points in our lives, where you go through a difficult time. This can completely destroy who you are, and it can ruin you as a man. Or you can use this to catapult you into becoming a better man and improving your life. And that's how I chose to respond. And I think that every man that watches this or doesn't watch this, I think that when they go through a breakup, they need to work on themselves and become a better man out of it. So that covers everything I wanted to talk about in this video. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe. And God bless you.